Man, you stole my pen.
Yeah, I did. You use a marcus.
Make sure you return to sender.
You did not send it. I stole it.
So how y'all feeling?
Almost done, ladies.
How you feel?
I feel good.
Yeah. I feel like this is about to be a thing. Yeah. This is about to be a thing.
I think so too.
Right?
Like I can feel it, like picking up.
Yeah.
Steam.
Coming into fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Like as the date is getting closer, it's becoming more real.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah. I feel like this.
we got the call like, hey, do we really want to do this podcast?
It was a Zoom link text.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, Rianne was right. It was the 5 emails that we got that first day. Slack, Airtable, Google Drive, and then
Y'all welcome, yeah.
all of that.
You're welcome. It's weird because like I already have something out for the open, but I still feel like vulnerable about this in a different way. Because this time we're like putting our thoughts and ideas and
Out there.
we're literally telling the world who we are based off of the things that we say.
Yeah.
And it's like who we are at the moment because
It could change.
it could change.
Right.
And also
Subject
just a
to
little
change.
snippets, you know, like just they're only getting what
What
they
we
get
yeah,
in those
exactly.
45
Right.
minutes or like I don't know.
Exactly.
But I'm still excited. Like it's a new thing. Yeah, I like new things.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned it, and now we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hit my voice for like the first
Yeah.
season. Like,
Ooh, I don't even want to hear my voice, bro. I feel like I have a manly voice, so like I'm gonna hear like it's gonna sound like a guy on a thing.
yeah.
My apologies, people.
I wonder like what people are gonna think if they don't look at the visual before they
They just
listen
hear
to
us.
audio, right? You're like, who's who?
Mm-hmm.
And then they
And,
put the
like-
faces to it after.
And like I didn't expect her to say that, or like I didn't expect her like
To look like that.
look, especially with COVID, the mask thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know,
Podcast
Lil,
fishing.
what was it, Lil Bibby? His voice does not match his face.
At all, bro.
It's like, does my voice match my face?
I don't think my voice matched my face. You don't think my voice matched my face?
You can't ask me that because
Yeah. I'm
I,
used to.
Might need to be taller.
A lot of people say that. They say I talk, you know.
See,
But then it's also
taller.
like because I'm so
Honest.
small.
You gotta
they're like,
command
oh.
that presence with your voice.
Big
Yeah.
facts.
Give me a short person complex now.
I'm okay with that. You get what you get, you don't get upset.
Child.
You're welcome for knowing.
You can take that.
But like, what are you guys like the most afraid of? Like besides like hearing your voice and whatnot, like what are you most afraid of like with this
My
podcast?
reputation. If I'm being honest, like I feel like I don't know. Yeah, based on what I say,
This is open to like public judgments.
you know, like normally when we have these conversations, like whether like we were in the club room or we're just hanging out, like a lot of times I don't speak on purpose because I like to hear what everyone else has to say, and then I make my own opinion and I just keep it. But this is now a space where I'm supposed to share my opinion, and that just makes me feel very vulnerable.
I get that, but it's also we're asking you, we're choosing to do this because what we have to say is also important.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're all gonna feel that way, but I think you'll also get past that eventually, hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully.
Fingers
Hopefully.
crossed. Fingers
Because
crossed.
if not, then wow.
My fear is that people on my end are gonna listen and be like, since when did she have that perspective? But
I'm actually excited for that. Like, I finally told my parents about it this week, and they're like, "So what are you guys gonna talk about?" And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
my mom was like,
"Watch
why?
it." I think it's like
don't
for
watch.
me. No, for me, it's just like, you know, in our friend groups, we choose to be our full selves, and sometimes at home, at least for me, I don't feel like it can always be my full self. Even nothing intentional, but that's just like the way everything works out. So I feel like this is a good opportunity for them to like kind of see and hear me, and they just have to leave it there. Like it's not a conversation where you can.
You can't be like, so
But wait,
you
stop.
said this on this at this point. What did you mean by this?
Yeah, it's just like no, like listen to what I have to say
And allow it.
and like
Allow
and
it.
see
It's
me.
true.
It's gonna be, when did you have all these experiences?
Oh, I didn't know.
When did you do all of this?
But in a way too, I feel like it might check the parenting. Where have I been?
Or even outside, just like the home, like other like other friends, they don't know this is going on because we all like been intentional about like keeping this until the drop. So it's like not outside perspective. I guess like public people I don't know, I don't really care about, but like people I do know what they're gonna say.
Yeah, I'm scared about like the people who are close to me being like, yo, bro, this is not it.
Yo,
once I hear that,
I'll be like,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna need like 3-4 days.
I'm gonna need a recovery period. I'm gonna be like, yo.
It's weird because like I'm definitely like I hear that, but like I said, like this is really for me. I don't care if nobody like it. That's my selfishness about it. But in terms of like what other people have to say, I think for me, like our school comrades, because you know I didn't really make a lot of friends there. I'm interested to see what they'll have to say about me because a lot of them never really got to know me, in my opinion. So I feel like they'll be like, yo, she really like that. Like there's no way she's like that. It's like, nah, but I am.
Yeah, I think my sisters, like people I call my sisters, they'll be like, yeah, that's Ashley, but the other people will be like,
I'm in shock. Like, part of me is nervous. So, like, of course, obviously, I want to share it with people because I want to get exposure and, you know, eventually monetize. But, like, part of me is scared to share because I feel like
that judgment.
Even, like, when it comes to, like, sharing it on close friends versus main story. Like, just that decision itself.
I'm choosing like, who gets to see
you
this.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Because once it goes out there, it's like...
It's out there for anybody to just pick apart.
It's just, you know, part of me thinks, like, you know, when it comes to, like, reading comments and like I'm thinking like big picture, right? I'm like that stuff's not gonna affect me. I'm here worried about two friends gonna see and say what and say this and you know what I mean? Like
I'm thinking about comments.
Yeah,
I'm thinking already. About not even comments, not even public comments, like typing like comments,
like text
group chat.
So y'all saw
what they put out this week?
Yeah.
Or just even
who they talking about?
Right, who they talking about?
Because now I'm getting a text, yo, who were you referring to in that podcast?
You talking about me?
Sorry.
If the shoe fits,
put it on
and wear it and
tie it. Make sure you tie the lace so you don't fall.
We have a right to speak from our perspective.
And if you have been a part of mine.
But also, nobody's gonna be bashed on this podcast. Like, I feel like people are gonna take what we say and run with it. You're not being bashed, just our experience.
But frankly, people do that on a regular day, so it's just like whatever, bro.
But then on the other side, like, what do you guys hope this becomes? I hope that we are on like some type of like Spotify exclusive.
That would be so fire. What? That would be so fire.
I feel like that's like the big picture, but like other than that, I think that the first episode, I don't want to put a number on it. I just want at least 100 listens.
My number was 100.
Yeah.
Let me just get 100 people, and it's
100 if we throw a party. party.
Or even 50. No, I think 100.
I think 100.
We know 50 people between the...
between all four of us.
No, actually between the three of us, I'm put 200.
Right, like we each have 50. Remember, we have a collective group of people that is at least 50, and then we all have our own.
So I think if we get the first episode, guess like 200. I'm put lower. I'm sick of 100.
Yeah.
I'm be like
100.
Honestly,
they actually want to hear us speak.
Honestly, though, and this is maybe the grandma in me, but like 100, 204, like
I'm already for you. Go ahead.
I'm already proud of us and the work that we put into this and like how far we have come. And I also know that I'm not the easiest person to deal with. Hearts. Thank you for the heart.
Never seen somebody draw a heart like that.
Really?
So I'm just like, I think if we're good with this, then we're good with this. And we will do this until we're no longer good with this. So who cares if they don't care, like if they don't like what we have to say? Do you like what you have to say? Do you think what you have to add is valuable and important? There'll be that one person so far down the line that's like, I listened to your podcast. And you're like, I influenced you, yes. Like,
or even that you just listened. That you have no influence. Like you listened. I feel my things. You listened? Really?
Yes, because your voice is important enough. I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be a learning experience for each and every one of us. I think we're gonna get a lot of pushback, good and bad, and in between, and we're gonna grow. And I also think that in general, like I'm very excited to see how this helps our friendship to evolve, even outside of this. Yeah. Because we're having a lot of conversations about a lot of very important things that usually aren't had when they need to be had, and can now lead to the destruction of relationships because it was you didn't know.
We can prepare and set those boundaries.
I
See,
feel like
that was true because I sneezed.
That's a thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So I just feel like this, no matter what comes from this, I feel like we will leave this way stronger as individuals and as a collective. And I think it's going to be beautiful.
I think it is.
I agree with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
We can stop right there.
Sarah said, I know you didn't cover your mouth.
No, was that a cough or a
A
sneeze?
sneeze.
You coughed. You said.
Nah. Maybe she had a little.
I'm sorry.
You gotta look-